More than 50 of those aboard the plane were Canadian. Their passing has been mourned at a number of memorial services. The Foreign Minister summing up the impact on the country.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a national tragedy.
A sentiment echoed by the Prime Minister. He insists the Iranian admission of responsibility should not end the investigation.
Earlier this morning, I spoke with President Rouhani of Iran. I told him that Iran's admission that its own armed forces unintentionally shot down Flight 752 is an important step towards providing answers for families, but I noted that many more steps must be taken. A full and complete investigation must be conducted.
The President of Ukraine initially had this to say on his Twitter feed: acknowledging plane shot down is a step in the right direction. I insist on immediately completing identification of the bodies and their return to Ukraine. The perpetrators must be held accountable. But then, in a national address, the President ordered Ukraine's prosecutor to open an investigation.
I call on all international partners of Ukraine, the entire world community, to be one and persevere in the full and final investigation into all the circumstances of this disaster. All of us need it.
Late on Saturday, the first reaction from the White House in two tweets in English, both repeated in Farsi. The President referencing protests in Iran, insisting he's always stood by what he called the brave and long-suffering Iranian people and will continue to do so, adding, "We are following your protests closely and are inspired by your courage." Trump has also called for human rights groups to monitor the protests, telling Iran the world is watching. But from nowhere in the Trump administration, in what appears to be a coordinated response, has there been any direct comment on Iran's admission that it downed the jet. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.